Hello and welcome to CATEX-TV. I'm Tom Bailey in London. It's 4:30 p.m. in London, 11:30 Eastern Time and 12:30 in Bermuda. Today in history. Today in 1718, an avalanche destroyed every building in Lucabad, Switzerland, killing 53 people. Today in 1912, English explorer Robert Falcon Scott and his expedition reached the South Pole, only to discover that Roald Amundsen had got there 1 month before. None of Captain Scott or his party were to survive the return journey. Today in 1898, a gunman opened fire in a California schoolyard, killing 5 students and wounding 30 others. And finally, today in 1995, saw an earthquake hit and destroy much of Kobe in Japan. The earthquake, measuring 7.2 on the Richter scale, caused the deaths of 5,372 people. And now to the news. The Tunisian authorities are struggling to restore order and stop surging violence, while politicians seek to cobble together a unity government in the wake of toppling Zine El Abidine Ben Ali's government. Tunisia's Prime Minister promised to announce a new coalition government today, hoping to maintain the momentum of political progress and to ward off fresh protests, also to undercut gunmen loyal to the ousted president. The Prime Minister said yesterday, "Tomorrow we will announce a new government which will open a new page in the history of Tunisia." So we'll keep you posted on any developments there and any impact for the sort of political situation. Dozens of towns in Australia's Victoria state in the far south are braced for unprecedented river levels after the flooding crisis peaked in northeastern Queensland. About 14,000 homes in the second most populous state were hit by a record deluge yesterday, as the number of deaths in Queensland rose to 17 amid scenes of destructions. Homes were swamped to waist height as waters wreaked havoc on rural communities in Australia's southeast, levelling fences and trees and tearing up roads. Victoria suffered the worst wildfires in Australian history just 2 years ago, in which 173 people died. Parts of the state are now facing a once-in-a-century flooding, with some towns having never experienced such an inundation before. Soldiers were helping people evacuate from their homes, while desperate sandbagging was underway in a number of towns where a season's worth of rain has fallen in just 2 days. The cleanup is continuing in Brisbane and in Queensland. Queensland floods may cost insurers and reinsurers worldwide as much as $6 billion, and that would make it the most costly disaster in Australia's history. Insured losses from the past week's deluge in and around the capital of Queensland, Brisbane, may be as high as $4 billion, while damage from floods further north late last year may cost $2 billion, according to the managing director of cat modeler AIL Worldwide, Melan Simic. Political pressure is mounting on Australian insurers, which include Suncorp Group, Insurance Australia Group and QBE Insurance Group, to pay claims as residents return home to assess damage. Those companies are spared from the bulk of costs by reinsurance policies which will pass those losses onto the global reinsurance market. And now in Beirut, Hassan Nasrallah, Hezbollah's leader, said his party will refuse to back Saad Hariri, Lebanon's caretaker prime minister, in forming a new government. Nasrallah's comments, broadcast on Al-Mana television last night, were his first public comments since Hezbollah ministers and their allies pulled out of Lebanon's government, causing it to collapse. Hezbollah, which has a political bloc in parliament as well as powerful military wing, commands strong support in Lebanon's Shia Muslim community. Nasrallah said the opposition unanimously will not name Hariri tomorrow. He said it was constitutional, legal and democratic, the party's move to bring down the government. Lebanon's crisis is a result of long simmering tensions over the UN tribunal that is investigating the 2005 assassination of Rafik Hariri, a former Lebanese prime minister and father of Saad Hariri. So we'll keep on posting updates on that. Now, the former president of Haiti, Jean-Claude Duvalier, has returned to the country 25 years after he was overthrown by a popular revolt. Duvalier, who's 59 and more widely known as Baby Doc, arrived on a flight from France where he'd been living in exile. It was not clear what prompted his return, though he is said to want to, quote, help the people of Haiti following last year's devastating earthquake. He arrives amid political uncertainty after disputed presidential elections. Prime Minister Jean-Max Bellary said there was no reason to believe Mr. Duvalier's return would destabilize the country. Mr. Bellary said he is a Haitian and as such free to return home. And we've got some storm activity. We wouldn't really expect to be tracking storm activity at this time of the year, but nevertheless, as you'll see from the map, there is a cyclone system that is in the western Pacific. It is currently about 900 nautical miles northeast of Sydney and about 900 nautical miles northwest of Auckland in New Zealand. It's got sustained winds of 75 knots and it's being named Cyclone Zelia. It's forecast to weaken in the next 24 hours down to a tropical storm with sustained winds of 75 knots. That's from its current sustained winds of 75 knots. And as you can see, it's forecast to continue on a southeasterly trajectory. We'll keep you posted and we'll keep tracking its strength if it does indeed continue on course to New Zealand's North Island and particularly Auckland. With the repayment of its obligations to the Federal Reserve Bank of New York on Friday, AIG, the American International Group, took a big step towards paying down its $130 billion taxpayer finance bailout. But perhaps the hardest part remains, selling off what has become a 92.1% stake held by the Treasury Department. Friday marked the closing of AIG's recapitalization plan, in which the insurer drew on proceeds from recent asset sales and Treasury funds to pay off its debts to the New York Fed. At the same time, the Treasury converted its preferred shares in AIG into common stock, which it plans to sell off starting either in March or May, according to those briefed on the subject. EU authorities are gearing up for stress tests on insurers later this year. The European Insurance and Occupational Pensions Authority, EIOPA, said it would be done together with the European Systemic Risk Board and local regulators of EU countries, beginning in the second quarter of this year. And the EIOPA said in a statement, the goal of the stress test is to identify and quantify the impact of the different stress scenarios on insurers' financial positions in an adverse and very severe economic environment. An AIB spokesman said stress tests in the banking system may well be appropriate, particularly in the light of continuing financial problems faced by that sector. However, as regards insurance, it would be important to design any such test in a way that recognises the long-term nature of the business. Bermuda-based reinsurer and insurer Argo Group International Holdings has more than doubled its estimated losses for the New Zealand earthquake that took place in September. The company, which reported an initial loss estimate for the quake of $11.3 million in its third quarter results, said yesterday that there would be an additional $12 million of losses from its in the event in its 2010 fourth quarter results. Argo has also announced the resignation of the head of its London operation and the appointment of a new group chief underwriting officer. Julian Enoisi, CEO of Argo International in London, will be leaving this position as of the 4th of March to pursue other business interests. Meanwhile, Andrew Carrier will take over the newly created position of Group Chief Underwriting Officer and oversee underwriting across Argo Group's worldwide operations. He will report into Argo Group CEO Mark Watson III. And from London, Aon Benfield has announced that Charlie Cantley, chairman of Aon Benfield UK, is leaving the reinsurance brokerage unit of Aon-based Aon International, effective the 1st of April. Mr. Cantley, who is based in London, is also the chairman of Aon Benfield's global re-speciality unit. Mr. Cantley said in a statement, "The business is now in great shape and has some of the most talented practitioners in the marketplace. I feel that now is the right time for me to make this move and look at new challenges, whatever they may be." Dominic Christian, co-CEO of Aon Benfield, said in a statement, "The firm is extremely grateful for his support and commitment to the industry. I would like to extend my personal thanks for his work. and wish him the best for his future endeavours. And finally, a survey in the UK has from UK insurer Direct Line has shown that 6.8 million British households are underinsured, with £200 billion worth of home contents at risk in total. The recent rise in VAT has caused further problems, since it will cost households a further 2.5% of the value of contents to insure them. So anyway, everybody out there who feels underinsured knows to check with their insurers. That's all from us today. We'll be back with you at the same time tomorrow. Until then, thank you very much, and goodbye.